What's going on, everybody? How do I sound? Y'all got me? Hi, Sean. All right, so we got Little Boots, Mary popped in, got Glenn kicking it, Roki J, Sean. Cool. Hadn't done anything in a while. Not a whole lot to report, I guess. You guys and gals are watching the news just like me. It's truly a damn shame what we're witnessing. But as the title of the live is called, Follow the Bouncing Ball, there's a lot of balls in the air, if you will, as many of you know. And the can is keeps being kicked down the road by the feds. Sorry, I got the news up, watching it as we go here. And they don't. I used to not really believe about believe in the new NWO and all that, but man, it's increasingly becoming more and more believable and evident to me of what's going on here. Hey, Shift. Hey, Lisa. Good to see y'all. So I'm even getting tired head of all the coverage on Ukraine. It's 24 hours now, mainly at night, because that's when it's early morning, start of the day over there, and a lot of people are off from work, and they can devote time to watching the carnage that's spewed 24/7 out of that area. But it's truly a damn shame what we're seeing, and I know that there's a lot of opinions on Ukraine and this and that, but unless there's a deal in place already, Putin has already, based on what I know about conflict, which is a little bit, and war and the Geneva Convention and all that, he's committed war crimes, and a lot of people are talking about it. I don't know that he really cares. I think the plan's in place to go further and use that as leverage down the road. And I think that, hey, Timothy, good to see you. I think that he has no intentions of ever getting to The Hague to face his war crimes. Of course, he may give up some brass, lower level people, of course, to get that done. But, I think the line's been crossed, and I don't think it's, playing by the rules are for chumps. And, the days of rules are over with. What's going on in Ukraine, Putin has totally annihilated the rules and doesn't really care. So if we determine that we're just going to play by the rules, I'm telling you right now, we're just going to flat out lose. You've got to be crazier than your opponent. you've got to be willing to go much further than your opponent. Now, I will say this. It sucks, and people are feeling sorry for the Ukrainian refugees and victims and all that. I do too. But we obviously, as a government, don't give a rat's ass about innocent civilians being killed. And the news is broadcasting it all damn day and night. I mean, just think about the barbarism that's taking place. And so they're leveling complete like apartment complexes, if we were to believe what we see. And hey, Miss Sherry, hey, Lady Casca, hey, Denise, good to see y'all. Yeah, there's tons of lies, but it's just an absolute mess, and it's an absolute travesty that you've got old women and children having to flee on foot, and dodge, artillery shrapnel and stuff like that, and just as they ended COVID, here we go with something else, right? So I'm afraid that war and chaos is actually going to be the new norm, the new normal. And so if this is the new normal, right? Extortion by means of force or war. Oh yeah, that's always been a deal, a shift for sure. It's always been a threat that's loomed. Yeah, but yeah, shift. I hear you, and Venezuela as well. And again, when you turn all your attention to the Green New Deal and wokeism and reparations, you lose focus on the actual true threats to your communities. And I've said it months ago that, and me and a lot of other people said it months ago, that we were extremely vulnerable on many fronts, financially, militarily, just to name a couple. Extremely vulnerable. And I don't think gas, you see nothing on gas. I think you're looking at upwards of $8 to $10 a gallon by the end of summer. So if this is part of the NWO, if this is part of the transformation, hey honey and stuff, good to see you. If this is part, hey Valerie, if this is part of the transformation to the new NWO, sorry, New World Order, and Ukraine was just the patsy, in order to, or the fulcrum, if you will, to engage that runaway train. So where does that leave us? What do we do? Right? That's what I. So like, tell us the situation and we can deal with it. Right? Hey, off the wall. If war is the new norm to insertion of the NWO, chaos, financial calamity, if that's all the recipe to install the NWO, then we have to react to that, right? We have to prep in accordance with those agenda items, right? So I'll just call it extortion by force. Basically they are saying do this or we kill you. That's what Vlad's doing over there. Now again, this may be again a more orchestrated thing than we know. And again, you still got you know the big Red Sea in the background lurking and making moves, closer and closer to the West Coast. And we haven't even seen the crash of the stock market yet, but the Dow is apparently doing a correction right now. I think you still got some time if you want to go grab some precious metals and maybe hedge your bets that way a little bit. Yeah, and I think Denise mentioned it above that gold and silver were rising and crypto was falling. I was able to drive safe off the wall. I think that if you have the ability to store fuel in a large capacity safely, like you live in the country or on a farm and you've got the ability to get some bulk tanks, I would probably do that, especially if you need your farm equipment to produce things for you, or you have to drive on occasion here or there, because fuel is absolutely going to be unaffordable pretty soon. I bought 2 5-gallon. I didn't even need them, but I bought 2 more 5-gallon gas cans yesterday, and it cost me $45 to fill up. I put a couple gallons in the truck, but it was just topped off what I used getting over there to the place and back. But it was probably about $40. Crazy, 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 crazy. Hey, Layla, it's good to see you. Not miss anybody else. But man, what a mess, right? I mean, they all think we're stupid. They all think we don't know what's going on, and most of the sheep don't. Most of the sheep just want their ravioli, ramen noodles, and Wi-Fi, and their weed. They don't care about much else, and that's just how their expectations are low, and that's all they care about. They don't care about America. They don't care about freedom or liberty. All they care about is what's right in front of them for that day, and that's just how they live. That's just how they live, and they're going to be out roaming the roads like everybody else who didn't get anything done, and have to suffer like most of the others as well. There's going to be a lot of suffering, and sometimes you're just going to have to look at them and watch them suffer. I don't wish anything on anybody, but it's just a fact. Those that didn't prepare are going to have to endure a very, very tough hardship. So, if we were on the up and up, so here's the thing, even if it's not true in the flesh or the real world, right? NATO has lost all credibility. Nobody thinks now. I know Ukraine. Hey, Shad. I know that Ukraine is not a NATO country, but they are part of Europe, and they were a major buffer, for Western Europe from Russia. So Russia has said we're going to remove that buffer, and it's going to be part of Russia now. And they've made their move, and we didn't do anything. And so I firmly believe that if we wanted to, we could mop up that place real quick, because they're already having trouble. They're not facing a lot of resistance over there. And I think that if we were really to get involved, based on our experience in combat zones, I think we could put a really good hurting on them. Now, I know we got people here that have family members deployed, and I'm not wishing that on any of them. As a veteran, I always look out for the people in uniform. But I think we can make at least semi quick work of that situation. And did somebody forget to tell Vlad that we got nukes too? I mean, he's acting like he's the only guy running around with nukes. So, with our lack of intestinal fortitude on the battlefield here, there's one. Get him, get him. With our lack of intestinal fortitude on the battlefield, in the theater right now, if you will, man, we look pretty damn weak. I think that we had our window to step in and put at least a temporary wall up and keep this there. And now our lack of being able to step in and buck up to somebody, we've actually made things worse. And as far as us being the beacon of liberty and freedom around the world, I don't know that we can say that anymore. And we're sitting here watching a millions of people be displaced, and it's really sad to see the level of suffering that they're going to have to endure. I mean, they basically put everything on their back, and they could roll suitcase wise and haul ass. Hey, Dustin. Hey, Chicken Noodle. So again, I did a video the other day called saying, expect it to get worse, much worse. And if this is not a consolidated effort by Vlad and Potato and Xi, we got real problems on our hands. And to all the morons that voted for this clown, Potato, I know there was a lot of shenanigans played, but all these fools that voted for Potato and tried to put us in our place, just tell them thanks a lot, because they may very well have been the catalyst that lights the match and the downfall of America. And sad but true, sad but true. And I'm sure that we have some operators in there, hopefully, doing some traffic direction and things like that, and reporting and intel gathering and things like that. I mean, I don't know. I would hope that we had somebody on the ground in there that maybe a crew. I don't know, people that could help, but who knows? The military has seemed to have lost its way, and we're going to just have to circle back and expect this to be the new normal for a while, at least. Prep towards that end. Prep to deal with these new normals, right? And just block everything else out, all the BS, and look at the facts. The facts is that we're letting a maniac run roughshod through a European country on his way to the West, and we're not doing anything about it. He obviously doesn't give a rat's ass about sanctions. And so take all this into consideration and just say, okay, here's the new normal. And how do I prep myself through that? And, you know, it's to think that I just think if like somebody like Reagan were in office, what his reaction would be to this. But I'll tell you, it's depressing. As somebody that served during the Cold War, um, this is really disheartening to me. Hey, RP, good to see you. And it is what it is. Okay, we know what the expectations are. We know that they're very low. If this government will do anything to ease the pain on the American voter or the American taxpayer, they care more about. Yeah, and Glenn, again, I don't I don't even disagree with that at all, man. I mean, I totally get it. Like I said, this thing could go one of two ways. I don't want to give this administration that much credit, to be honest with you, but having served in the Cold War, I remember in Germany, I was in a nuclear artillery unit, and we actually had nukes, and we were 45 clicks from the Czech border back when it was still communist before the wall came down, and it was serious stuff. I mean, we would go on alerts all the time, once or twice a month at least. And I mean, you pack all your stuff and go to the woods and wait, or go load it on a train. And again, it's the same old adage that you hear a lot, that weak men create dangerous times. And I haven't heard lately, but I did hear a rumor that Russia was going to be going into martial law pretty soon. I don't know if that's true. That's just what I heard. I heard that 13,000 have been arrested for illegally protesting or whatever crazy ass violation they want to list it as. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat. That's right, Denise. Yeah. Yeah, the greenies are in full command of this, I think. And like I said, I don't have a problem with common sense recycling and all that stuff, but when it starts affecting the livelihoods of hardworking people and inconveniencing America, I've got a problem with that. But I wanted to, in lieu of the current situation that we're in, I think that everybody just needs to, circle back and regroup and think about the current climate and what's going on. You can only go with what you know, and then prep accordingly, right? I'm going to start doing a couple of off the path preps every week. I think just to sort of recenter and maybe get people to think about basic stuff. Sometimes I think it's easy to go down the rabbit hole with all the information that's floating out there, and a lot of panic buttons are being hit and all that. And I think that I think we just need to recenter and simplify things and stay on the path that is most likely to keep you, in a good state of mind and a good state of readiness. And then, a lot of people, they travel and they go to hotels and all that. And I know that there's a lot of opinions on this, but always take the little shampoos and soaps and lotions, right? So here's some Neutrogena ones from, like, I think these are Hampton Inn. I don't know. I've stayed at so many places, but you got the bath gel, shampoo, and the body lotion. Now, granted, these aren't great products. I get it. The ladies will probably laugh, all right? But if you run into a serious SHTF situation, do you know how much a bottle of shampoo would actually be worth? Think of these poor people, and yeah, I've got a whole box of them, Dustin. I've stocked this stuff for years. And I mean, think if you couldn't evacuate somewhere, and just think what that little bottle of heaven would be worth, you know, if you're stuck and you can't evacuate in Ukraine, what somebody would be willing to wash their hair for. Now, I'm not trying to say extort people and make, I'm just using this as a an idea, a barter idea, if you will. But it's the perfect size, right? Perfect size and easy to carry, and it's such a good barter item. Even the little bars of soap. I mean, just think about that. But I always take them. I take the shower caps. I take everything, and I know I'm just cheap too. But I mean, I've just held on to them, and I've got like probably a 12 by 20 box full. So that's one thing I wanted to mention. I know, man. I know that most of y'all probably have this, but a good chain, right? With a lock. And because I have different lengths of chain as well. I have this little short one, which will be used to secure something like my generator, if I have to implement a gate. There's a lot of things you can secure with a good piece of chain like that. And I have different lengths and such as well. But I just wanted to show that one because it's ready to go, and it's the one I keep with my generator. So I've already got a position for it, in the backyard if I need to implement it and secure it to a nice post, steel post. That's true, RP. um, Also, check obviously keep checking the Wally World clearance aisle. Man, I found some gold in there the other day. They had some of those little tire, not chains, but the little nylon wraps, that go around your tires. They were like $5. It's crazy. I mean, they had all kinds of stuff in there. It's amazing. Hey, Danielle, good to see you. Hey, Hillbilly. Hey, Little Boots. Yeah, that's right, Shift. But like I said, I went out and got a couple more 5 gallon cans yesterday, and just because they were there, and they're cheap Chinese, but I have stay bill, and I went ahead and just stored it, and I think I'm sitting on about, I don't know, I think 55 gallons of fuel currently. Hell, I need a drum, I guess. I started to do that too, trying to make the right decision on that as far as storability goes. Yeah, they do. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I paid, I think, 17 bucks for these, which is still a ripoff, you know. I'll tell you what, I'm not really gonna do I'm not planning on having to do the make your own bread thing. I'm number one, I'm just not proficient at it. Um, Number two, the amount of ingredients you have to hang on to for that, it's not really in my wheelhouse, if you will. But I have gone to those little Jiffy cornbread boxes, and they've got different flavors and different styles. They're 52 to 72 cents a box, depending on when you catch them at the store. But I've just started storing those, and because um, they're small, and you can stack them and you can store them real easy. And the good thing about all these cardboard boxed little things like that is that you've got fire starter. Cardboard is a obviously great tinder, and people need to think about that when they buy stuff instead of just dumping it in bulk. Keep the packaging so you can use it maybe to start a fire or whatever, whatever you can use it for. I did a video the other day about, trying to find two purposes at least for the same item. I talked about a hatchet. A hatchet can be used to chop and then turn it over, and the flat portion of the back of the axe head can be used as a hammer to drive nails or break a window or a pry bar, etc. Yeah, Lisa, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's the cornbread and that biscuit mix. I just buy different ones every time I go to the store. They're so cheap. They are so easy to store. It's just a no-brainer to me. It's basically just add water. I'm really big on the just add water items. But anyway, yeah, these little shampoo and body wash and lotion bottles, man, that's a gold mine you're sitting on, and in the right situation, as far as bartering goes. My God. But yeah, if you have yourself a Dutch oven, you can do a lot with that. If I could only have one pot, it would be a Dutch oven. That's true, Valerie. Yep. Yep. Old hatchets are hard to beat. Hmm. So I'm thinking about getting myself. I went shopping the other day online, and I'm looking for a vintage dual purpose motorcycle. You know, something like an old Yamaha or Honda. It doesn't matter brand to me. But there's like 1975 to 1978, sort of the era I'm looking for because of the ability to work during through an EMP. Man, there's some pretty nice bikes out there. There's a lot of junk too. They got brand new Chinese ones you can get for $1,500 or less at some of these motorcycle stores. Hey, Tactical, good to see you. Yeah, I'm one of these people that I actually don't have. I'd have to go buy another freezer if I wanted to store more frozen items. Hey, Jerry, good to see you. Yeah, I'm not from West Texas, but I've got some land out there, some family property that we sort of use for hunting and such out there north of Abilene. It's not near as far west as RP is, but it's pretty nice to have that. It's sort of our bug out location, if you will. And again, pretty blessed to have that access, if you will. Hey, Annie, good to see you. But let's focus on the here and now and what we know, and that is the world is a mess at home and abroad, especially abroad. And I would definitely focus on fuel. I'm assuming that most of you guys and gals are pretty squared away with the food and the water and the meds right now. I mean, you've been beaten into submission about that for years now, and not. And I'm not telling you to store fuel for the rest of your life, but I would just say, to me, if you ever had to evacuate, how much fuel is it going to take you to get there, right? And some people have a further drive than others. If I had to bug out or evacuate, I'll just say it like that. If I had to evacuate, it's about almost a half a tank probably to get there. Well, you also got to think of your generators and other stuff. If you had to run your vehicle to stay warm, or if you had to, run your vehicle to recharge something, whatever. So when I say store fuel, I'm just saying store fuel enough for emergencies and emergency use is what I'm saying. Hey, Candy, emergency use, and what is it gonna? What can you store reasonably and safely, and turn over as time goes to be of use to you. M1030-M1. Okay, I'll check that out. Tactical. I also thought about an electric motorcycle, but damn, I don't know, man, if I'm ready to go there. It's kind of like against everything I stand for. But it's easy to get beaten down and tired head with all this coverage and the poor plight these evacuees are in, getting out of Ukraine. It's such a shame. And, I'm sure carpet bombing's next. If you don't know what carpet bombing is, look it up, because that's probably on the horizon for what's left of Ukraine in certain pockets. Wow. I don't have anything that runs on diesel, but that's good to know, Glenn. So my question is, number one, so fuel continues to go up, right? At what point do, number one, businesses say, okay, we need to increase the, fuel allowance for people that come to work? Or are they going to start laying people off again because we just can't afford to put people on the road? Or is it to where the people going into work just say, I can't afford to go to work. It costs me more in fuel than I make at work. So what's the point of going to work? It's kind of like the old child care thing. If you're going to work and all you're doing is paying for child care, you might as well just stay home and keep your kids yourself and not have the headaches and raise your kids right. So again, the whole school of thought of the whole, New World Order and the reset, that's a whole nother idea. It's plausible. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about, Annie. Exactly. That's what I'm wanting. They call it a dual purpose. And so at what point is it just not lucrative enough for you to go to work? I mean, to me, that's what's coming. I mean, is the Department of Transportation going to change was it 58 cents a mile? What's that going to go to for the reimbursement? Think about that. Our school bus is going to be able to run. For the trucks that are still on the road, they're going to pay out the ass for fuel, and then it's just going to trickle down to the consumer. Hey, Beach Army, good to see you. Man, that's the best advice right there, Dustin. I do the same thing every day. It's a very good advice, everybody. If I only burn a quarter of a tank that day, I'm going to be filling it up before I go home. Mm-hmm. Not that I'm a fan of the Dallas public school superintendent. He's about to retire again. They can't seem to find anybody else to get that position filled with. He was talking about teacher salaries, and he said that in the Dallas ISD, you've got 100 and something teachers that are going to be making $120,000 this year, and then so many of them are making 100,000 or more, and some of them are making 80 to 90,000. And it was just, I guess he was trying to compliment the district and their pay rates and this and that, and then he said his wife taught for 30 years, and the most she ever made was $60,000 a year. Hey, Scout, good to see you. And so you've got less experienced teachers out there who are woke, most likely, making more money than the old school teachers that did it because they loved it. And I'm not saying that teachers don't love their work. I'm sure that some of them do. Around here, where we're at, it's still pretty down to earth. It's a suburb area, really more of a country area. But it may be um, changing. But I'm a big fan of the street legal dirt bike for sure. It's just tough now trying to find a deal because they're so popular. But being that we're in the situation that we are in with the world falling apart around us, I am going to focus on my main areas of focus are going to be fuel, food, water, and freedom seeds. Those four things. I'm narrowing my focus on those things. Hey, good to see you, God soldiers. No, no. That's another thing. People. I've said it so many times on these lives and such. The cops during the SHTF, the cops are going to be home protecting their own families. I mean, they're people too, right? I mean, they're already, not responding to certain calls depending on the jurisdiction that you live in. So again, people need to be prepared to handle their business. And it's sad, but it's true that where you practice self-defense in this country matters. See you, RP. We'll get together on that other deal, RP. Just give me a text. We'll work it out. But don't expect any help. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, guys and gals, this too. And I talked about it the other night on somebody else's channel. But you need to find a good hiding spot for at least one pew pew and associated ammo. Get creative with your storage. I'm not saying dump all your stuff in one spot. I'm saying take one, if you've got more than one, and hide it in a spot. It's, I like the hidden in plain sight theory. Mm-hmm. Hey, people dumping out the Russian vodka, man, screw that. That's good stuff, man. I'm not going down that road. Yeah, that's true, Andy. A lot of people are doing that. Those little Honda Run Quiets sure are nice. I mean, you can hardly hear the damn things. But you can build a nice little insulated box for those generators and where they won't overheat. It'll muffle it pretty good. You can also dig a hole and put it down in there. Wow, Denise, that's a tough one. I mean, I'm not really too concerned about it personally because I know how to talk to them. I would just say that people when they see that are going to be like, a lot of people are just going to be oblivious to it. Like, oh, are they conducting drills? What's the guys in green running around for? What happened? I mean, you're going to have all that shock value stuff, right? I mean, I'm more of um, I would probably be more on the side of, hey, I would sort of like maybe befriend a section or a squad or something, and want to like, I would like, befriend them and want to keep them on my side. Yeah, exactly. Prepped. I ain't giving that stuff up. But when I hear National Guard and all that, honestly, I mean, you know, I know they've been through basic training and some job skill training and stuff like that, and some deployments, a lot of them. But National Guard doesn't really seem much of a threat to me, honestly. And to me personally, when I hear National Guard, I'm thinking, I'm gonna try to get myself another couple of weapons. That's what I'm thinking. But a lot of people are just going to want to hunker down, and it's probably, hey, Christina, good to see you. I think that hunkering down until you can figure out what's going on is probably a good idea. Laying low is probably a smart move if we have the Mike Lima. I think that in all regards, that's probably going to be the safest way to go, Denise. If I was to give anybody advice on that, um, they're usually from the community in some capacity, and so I'm just not too worried about it. I'm not saying it couldn't get bad or any of that, or that you can just totally trust them. I'm not saying that either, but um, they're going to have to think about their own families too. And, you know, I think a lot of these folks, when they signed the contract to enter that life in the military in any capacity, a lot of them, and understandably so, are not in it for the actual duties that may come of you. I think they're in it for the school or just a job or run around on the weekends and shoot firearms or whatever. I think a lot of them enter it for various reasons. I don't think a lot of them enter it anymore because they just want to serve America. I don't think that's the case. I think, you just need to approach it carefully if you don't know how or what, or, the lingo to use when talking to these people. Um, And I'll honestly, I don't think they got enough. If they really wanted to control the population, they ain't got enough. There's not enough National Guard, around to be very functional at that. I mean, just my area alone. I mean, it would be a futile enterprise for somebody to try to lock people down. That's all good, Scout. But no, to answer your question or your comment, Denise, I would just say I would lay low until I figured out what was going on, and go into your planning and your preparations that you've made, and start implementing your plans and precautions. And just because somebody knocks on your door doesn't mean you got to answer it. Again, if we really have a martial law SHTF situation, if we really, really have that happen, people, you need to go dark. You need to keep your lights off at night. It needs to look like nobody's home. Another thing you're going to have to do, again, we're talking SHTF. It's gone to hell in a handbasket. There's no food, there's no power, etc. Think of it in those terms. You're going to have to, number one, use light and sound discipline, noise discipline. You're going to have to up your security immediately. And if you've got 2 people in the house, guess what? You each get a 12-hour shift to be lookout and protect your property. And so if you've got 2 people, one's on day shift, one's on night shift. That's just how it's going to have to be. You got to sleep sometime. If you're by yourself, you're going to have to just take cat naps. Hopefully you've hardened your home, your windows, your doors. You've done everything you can to, again, lay low. But it's going to get really ugly, people. And it's going to be a financial calamity. And it's by design, I think, a lot of it. And remember, it's all about control. But yeah, I don't think you've seen anything yet. That's good, Jerry. But you're going to have to change the way that you live and think. Look at these poor people in Ukraine that are fleeing. I mean, abandoning cars on the side of the road, walking the rest of the way. It's so funny, I was at Wally World the other day, and this lady she had her buggy, and she was going around. We passed each other a couple of times. We're in the pharmacy section, and she looked in my cart, and I looked in her cart, and we just kind of nodded like that. And she went, "There's 2 bottles of alcohol, at 90% alcohol on the bottom shelf. If you want them." I was like, "Thanks." But it's like, we could tell that we were each there for the same reasons. And, she pointed it out to me and I grabbed them. I wasn't really looking for them, but hey. You got that right, Chad. Yeah, people, it's going to get worse. I mean, it's just going to be people eventually are going to say, I can't go into work. And why would you, right? I mean, I could see them, this being a catalyst to, we've got to have another rescue plan. People can't afford to go to work. Well, all you got to do is start drilling oil, dumbass, and refining our own oil and making more fuel, and we'll be all right. But see, this is, to have the combination of remedies in your back pocket and not being able to use them. Now, that's some impeachable shit. Yeah, I see people dumping it, man. I don't just give it to me. I'll take care of it. Get that right, little boots. We got so many people, so many people that just kicking the can down the road. They don't have a damn clue as to what is going on at all. They're more worried about, hey, 76, good to see you. Good for you, Mary. But they don't care. They give a shit about is their Starbucks, where they're going to get their, weed tonight, and how much Xbox they're going to be able to play. And they hope they got Wi-Fi and ramen noodles. That's all they give a shit about. I agree, Glenn. I mean, they're basically daring us to secede without United States approval. You know, I I'm almost to the point where I love America and I love what America stands for and I love the people for the most part. But at what point do we pull the plug and say, screw it? We've done it before. We'll just be our own republic again. I mean, what's the catalyst? What's the fulcrum? At what point do we just say we're out? I mean, feds, you got 48 hours to get all your shit out of the state of Texas. Hey, Jerry, I'm not judging, man. I'm just saying, look, people, the bar is pretty low, I guess is what I'm saying. You know, and when all you care about, there's going to be a lot of death and destruction just based on low expectations and low thresholds of pain. Yeah, we need to definitely keep Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, sprinkled in there with our secession. But at what point do we pull the plug and go, man, I'm sorry, people, but we got prospects here in the state of Texas. We got a coast, we got energy, we've got agriculture, we've got all the firearms and freedom seeds you could want. I don't know. I do. Why do you ask, Scout? But I mean, it's just lunacy. Yeah, and it probably would be, it would probably turn into another, they probably would attack us, honestly, Glenn, but that's okay. I mean, it's like this whole Ukraine thing, you know. If you really care about the free world, if you really care about democracy, you're eventually going to have to fight these people. Hey, Lee, good to see you. Mississippi ain't too bad, Shad. Louisiana's pretty good too, out in the rural parts, but man, they vote left a lot. The city of New Orleans is the worst. The post office is like Amtrak. It's always been a job program. It's never been about profit. And a vote collection agency. And so people just regroup and refocus your preps on the current situation and what you know. Listen to your gut. The conspiracy theories are abounding right now. But there's a lot of people on here that have good information, and Cold War Prepper is one of them. Real War, sorry, Romy Prepper is another. A bunch of people in here have great. Off the Wall has great stuff. Um, so many people in here contribute to the community. Not just if you have a channel or not, but their posts and their comments. There's always something good to be learned by everybody. I got a pretty cool postal worker. He's probably in his late 30s, but he is always blasting that heavy rock music. Man, I love it. I can hear him. I always know when a mail's been delivered because I can hear it. Absolutely, Christina. Follow your gut. Don't be sorry, Scout. It's all good, man. Yep. Seeds. I think that in addition, you need to add lead to your precious metals. Just checking emails. Bear with me. Well, like ride the lightning. Yeah, I do have a mountain bike. That's good. I mean, yeah, I went to school with two members of band Drowning Pool. If you've ever heard of them, They got that song Bodies that was real big back in the 90s. They're from right around here, little small town kids, a couple of them that I went to school with. But they've done pretty well. Have been through hell with the death of a singer and several others, but they've done pretty well for themselves. Yep, that's right, Candy. Yep, they're from a little town here close to me in North Texas. But I've got me a little mountain bike. It's not for regular use, but it's just a transportation device. And it's I can throw it in the bed of a truck or on top of the SUV and roll with it. Or that's another thing people need to be aware of if they do have to evacuate. Hey, Rome, the gentleman, good to see you. If you've got a bicycle, make that part of your evacuation load, if you will. If you're evacuating by vehicle, if you had to, last resort, choice of last resort, I'm thinking, for most of us. Um, just I would, here would be my advice for the weeks to come. Expect everything to change and expect pricing with whatever it is to go sky high. And I'll tell you something else, with the shenanigans that the banks are playing and the newfound authority that has been bestowed upon the financial institutions by this Build Back Better law, they've got a lot of power to control things within their institutions. And I'm going to tell everybody, if it were up to me, I would go every day. If you are so fortunate to have money in the bank, every day I would go and pull something out and stack it. And they could say what they want. Cash is going out, this and that. That's fine, whatever. You know what? Cash is still king. And the greed will always be the greed, and the greedy will always be the greedy. And if it really goes haywire, if it really goes, if the balloon really goes up, I ain't worried about paying bills. Yes, Jerry. But I would definitely grab some cash. I would do it, I don't know what, everybody's got a different budget and this and that. But I think this thing is hanging by a thread. And I think as the trauma starts to set in and people become more and more uneasy, all they're going to do is keep printing money and handing it out. Um, yeah, there you go, Lady Casca. Good. and I was able to buy some silver recently by with the help of Cold War Prepper. He's real savvy at that kind of thing. He helped me out in getting a couple of things, and I would look at some precious metals if I were you, including lead, and store that as well. Stay balanced in that regard. And I don't know. There's a lot of different theories on how much you should keep at home on hand. As far as cash goes, everybody's got a different opinion. Some people keep all of it at home. But I was going to say, it's a good idea for you maybe to take a screenshot of your account balances, every week or so, maybe on the same day every week. That way you can have an accounting of what you really had in your account, on a particular day, just in case. Because I don't think we're out of the woods from a cyber event. I don't think that we're out of the woods from an EMP. I don't think those are out of the realm of possibility at all currently. So I just got an email from Ammunition to Go, and they've got a bunch of inventory available if any of you guys and gals are looking. There's the website right there if any of you need to go look for Freedom Seeds. The little propane bottles are going up. Those went up $2 in my area. Like I said, little boots. Unfortunately, eventually, people are just going to have to end up probably suffering, and that's too bad. But it's like a kid. You tell them and tell them and tell them, and they don't ever learn until they get punched in the face. You know, some people just have to learn the hard way. I mean, I had to learn the hard way on a lot of stuff growing up, but I don't anymore. Again, prep for the events that you think most likely are going to occur. And there's all these people that are just kicking the can down the road. I mean, $20 for 8-pound bag of chicken wings is insane to me. Academies have been loaded with Freedom Seeds lately, y'all. Loaded with Freedom Seeds. You got that right, Lee. Yeah, the ammo company, they're sending like 1 million rounds over there to Ukraine. And I just started seeing their stuff on the shelves. Academy carries them. It's just called ammo, black box. There you go, Dustin. Hell yeah. Really? Huh. Wow. It's supposed to be a regional thing because I'm within probably 6, 7 miles of 3 academies, really 4, 10 miles within. I have 4 academies within 10 miles of me, and they have all been just chock full of most calibers every day. Now, maybe that's because some people already prepped, or they're just, oh, nothing happened, I'm good. I don't know, but I know this. This is my philosophy when it comes to Freedom Seeds. If you know how much you got, you ain't got enough. So, Little Boots, if you've got a 357 Magnum, if you have a handgun that's chambered 357 Magnum, you can shoot 357 Magnum or 38 Special. If you have a 38 Special chambered handgun, you can only shoot 38 Special out of it. I believe that's correct. Correct me if I'm wrong, panel. Probably. Yes, Little Boots. You bet. Just make sure that you are getting 357 Magnum. Is it a 357 Magnum or a 357 SIG? Make sure if it's a 357 Magnum, revolver, wheel gun, make sure that you're buying the right ammunition. It's just like a if you're gonna in the market for an AR, okay. If you're in the market for an AR, great. Okay, great. But do yourself a favor and always get one that's chambered 5.56. If you get an AR that is chambered 5.56, you can shoot 5.56 or 223 out of it. If you just get a 223 chambered AR, you can only shoot 223 out of it. So please remember that. Yes, exactly 76. So if you don't know and you're gonna get an AR, always get a 5.56 AR-15, chambered AR-15, because it'll shoot 5.56 or 223. A 223 chambered AR will only shoot 223. And our Walmart 76, Walmarts have had tons of that 7.62 by 51, tons of it. Winchesters. Tons of it. But yeah, definitely don't slack on the seeds for sure. Yeah, 357 is hard to beat. It's nasty. But I think people need to just narrow their funnel on their things that they're getting and prep for the current situation that we're in, and remember, prepping is it's really not a comfort thing to me. If you're prepping for comfortability, I think you're on the wrong path. I'm not saying you don't need to be comfortable sometimes, but I think that you need to be prepping for, uh, the moment, and not necessarily you're prepping to survive, not for comfort items. I'm not saying you don't have some hard candy and things like that, but it can just get out of hand. And I think the more simple you keep it, the better off you're going to be. There you go, little boots. Yep. That's the one. That's good because you can shoot 38 special or 357. I think the plus P on ammo just means extra powder, if I'm not mistaken. Make sure you get a holster for that thing, little boots. Get you a nice holster for that thing. You can look them up. Just punch a search in with your firearm. Hey, Mountain Grandma, punch a search of your with your firearm, in a Google search or whatever, or there's different ways. And find yourself a good holster for that firearm. I'm a big believer in holsters. I'll be right back. Y'all keep chatting. Be right back. Okay. All right. Sorry. I was going to show Little Boots this holster here. It's my little 357 little Taurus with the rosewood grip, and this little leather holster with the thumb latch. It's molded, made in Turkey. Very nice quality holster. I think it was 25 or 30 bucks. You can see the Hard to see the markings. Man, put my glasses on. Sad. Find the damn things. It's well, it's not stamped very well. Anyway, it's just a handcrafted leather holster. But I'm a big fan of the, it's curved, fit my body. This is my Taurus 357 Magnum. But definitely get yourself a good holster. I've also got this little belt or a bandolier, if you will. You throw it across your body or around your waist. A little buckle there. Nothing special, really. This is one of the ones I keep kind of locked up, hidden away. Anyway, that's just my preference. I like good holsters. Good holsters are just a good investment to me. You'll have to get one that fits your particular gun there, little boots. It's just blued. You can hidden hybrid holsters makes good stuff. Yeah, there's all kinds of good holsters out there. I picked this holster style just because it sort of matched the grip, and I've got the rubber grips it comes with as well. But it's kind of a neat little piece, I think. But it just sits right there in the waistband and kind of rides forward a little bit, which is how I like to carry my firearms. Never have been a really big, yeah, I like Kydex too. I've got for my Glock 26, my everyday CCW, I carry ambidextrous. I'm sorry, appendix. Appendix carry, and I've got a hybrid Kydex leather rig that I carry mine in. Hey, CJ, good to see you. This is my Glock 26. Got the Pierce grip extender here. I did this custom stippling myself. But this is my concealed carry holster. It's leather back. Real comfortable. Real lightweight. Very durable. I can't remember where I got it. I think it was like Patriot holsters or something like that. You should be able to just punch, little boots. You should just be able to punch in the nomenclature of the firearm, and it should pull up the holsters that it'll fit. You can kind of just look at the pictures, and sometimes they'll even give you in the specs down below when you go to look at the actual individual holster, you can tell if the measurements will fit. It's definitely inside the waistband, Lee. I just don't remember the manufacturer of it. I just can't remember. There's no stampings on it, but it's been really, really. I think it was $30, and it just, very comfortable. I carry it all the time, every day, every day. I do like the for outside the waistband on the Glocks. I do. Here's my Glock 26. Again, I did this custom stippling on it. I did all that myself. But you should. Yeah, there are. That's true, Okie J. But I'm a big fan of holsters, man. You know, tucking it in your waistband and all that stupidity. I don't, man, whatever. You know, I don't get all that. But the Stealth Operator is a good little holster from Academy carries them. They're called Stealth Operators. They're $30, 25, $30, and they're really, really light, but they hug your hip, and they actually have a little bit of retention to them. It's not intended for that, I don't think, but they're just kind of tight. So you have to give it a good jerk to get it out. Sorry, bear with me here. But yeah, there's a lot of course, Little Boots, you're welcome. There's a lot of places for holsters out there. Just, you know, just be sure you're usually typing in the right nomenclature for your firearm, and they should pull up the holsters that will fit it. If it's a pretty valuable piece, I mean, I like leather just because it is a little bit more delicate to the finishes on the firearms. And I'll tell you what, people, something else you need to think about getting is more magazines. And those of you that run Glocks, you can go to Academy, and Magpul actually makes a magazine that fits your Glock, most of them. And they're about half the price. Just remember, people, when it's SHTF, it's the law of the jungle. I'm not worried about abiding by rules. Hey, Liberty, good to see you. I'm not worried about abiding by the rules and all that. You know, if they're going to let it go to SHTF, then you get all that comes with that. That's my opinion on the matter. There you go, Liberty. Yep, stay on it. Keep your damn tanks full when you can lessen the pain. There you go. I like that idea, Little Boots. Just make sure you know who they are. I'm sure you do. You got that right, Scout. But again, I'm taking four areas that I'm already really good at. I mean, good in, I should say. But I am going all in as much as I can safely and reasonably and budget wise. I'm going all in on fuel, food, water, and freedom seeds. FFWF. Let's just put it on there. Fuel, food, water, and freedom seeds. Here, let's go. There we go. FFWFS. Foofwoofs. Fuel, food, water, and freedom seeds. Well, I don't know. I don't know that I'll be fine. I think, again, we prep to lessen the pain, right? I mean, at some point, if we're talking about ordnance being delivered long range, you know, I mean, you can only do so much. I think your idea of lessening the pain is noble and required if you've got a family, of course. You try to lessen the pain. It's not about comfort items necessarily to me. It's about lessening the pain. I don't think any of us are arrogant enough to yeah. I mean, you've got people that are tripping out about, you know, I mean, just freaking out about Starbucks that being out of this or that. I mean, damn. I just look at them and just shake my head and laugh. Like, you have no idea. Hmm. Yeah, 16 gauges are tough to find. I mean, they're very expensive shells if you can find them. If you find them, you better buy them all. City folks, city slickers. I don't buy Starbucks. Hell no. If somebody wants to buy me Starbucks, I'll drink it, but I'm not spending my money at that dump. Screw that. Somebody wants to buy me Starbucks, I mean, I'm not going to turn it down, but I'm not giving them my money. Or if somebody wants to give me a gift card, fine. Hell, that's all you can get at the airports almost if you travel. What the hell, man? I'll tell you what, people better learn to do also, and that's shut their doors more quietly. Man, you got people getting in their vehicles and slamming the doors like, my God. I hear you, Liberty. I'm out too. I'm out on the line right now. So food, fuel, food, water, and freedom seed. That's what I'm going after. That's what I'm stacking deep. That's right, Okie J. Good point. And I'll tell you something else. You know, if you're going to have a holster, a firearm in a holster, wear it. Okay, sweat in it, break it in. All right. If you're going to wear a holster, you've got to get it acclimated to your body. You've got to sweat in it. You've got to rough it up. You've got to, you know, have it part of your body, just like wearing a watch. Whew. Mm. Yeah, a little bit. Just probably has a lot of corrosion. Yeah, a gun show probably traded. Anyway. Hmm. Exactly, 76. Exactly. People, let me tell you something. If you got a firearm, a handgun, and you're locking it up and it's the only one you've got and you're going out without it, to me, you're making a big mistake. I don't give a damn where I go. I carry a firearm. If I fly, I check it in my luggage. I don't fly anymore right now, but when I travel by vehicle, it's on me. When I go to the store, it's on me. If I go to church, it's on me. And I don't give a damn about somebody having a sign up either, because I'm not going to die because somebody put a sign up. If somebody puts a sign up that says firearms aren't allowed in there, you either need to, one, ignore it, or number two, turn around and don't go in there, because what they're doing is they are preventing you from legally defending yourself with deadly force if something goes wrong. So, in my opinion, take a church for example. If they're going to say that firearms aren't allowed in their church, then they need to have armed security in that church providing protection for the people. When you open your doors to the public, you take on some risk and liability to maintain a safe environment. So somebody's got a damn sign up. I'm doing good, Scout. Thank you. I appreciate that. So take that into consideration when you enter an establishment. But I don't even look for the signs. Number one, I'm good at what I do and carrying concealed. I'm not broadcasting it. I don't look like I'm carrying when I go out. And it is what it is. I'm not going to go die because somebody put a sign up in their window. So once you start carrying on the reg, once you start doing it daily, number one, like I said, when you get a holster, you make sure you get something that's going to be comfortable that you're going to wear. Once you become comfortable with wearing it, you keep wearing it. Even if you say, I'm probably not going to need it, put it on. Put it on. I said it many times before, and I'll say it again. We don't get to choose the time and place of our incident. It's going to pick us. Okay? You're not going to go to the bank and expect to go in the middle of a bank robbery. You're not going to be at the intersection and expect to get carjacked. Okay? You have to be prepared to respond, fight or flight, every time you go out and do something. Don't get so wrapped up in yourself and what you're doing that you can't respond with either a defensive posture or a way to flee. Quit getting on the back bumper of the person in front of you. Leave a car length of space so you can make a move left or right. So be prepared anywhere you go to defend yourself. Be safe, be smart. I'm not advocating you break the law. What I'm saying is be prepared, be creative, and don't be a victim. But I've got some work to do, so I'm going to dip out. But it was great seeing everybody and talking to you guys and gals as usual. It was a great topic and great questions and answers and communication. Again, the focus areas that I'm going to recommend people do, like me, excuse me, fuel, food, water, freedom seeds. Those 4 areas. That's what I'm focusing on. And I'm good at those things. I've already got a really good allotment and stockpile going with those. But those are the areas that I'm really going to just funnel in on right now. And I suggest everybody else, if those aren't your 4, pick 4 and stay with them and try to stay balanced as possible. All right, everybody. I appreciate y'all watching. I'll try to, it's just been a busy time. Everybody's busy and this and that. So appreciate y'all showing up and keep communicating with each other and keep learning and exactly stay frosty. So with that, keep prepping, stack it deep, and always remember, long live the Republic. See y'all later.